What was effing awesome as a kid, but sucks as an adult?
Story 1. Getting letters. I wanted to get letters as a child, but now I'm happier when I don't see them. Now it's always someone who wants my money. Instead of relatives slipping you a few bucks. My brother-in-law sent $20 cash to my son for his 10th birthday, and the envelope arrived torn open with no cash. I never thought I would commit murder over $20, but it's a good thing I don't know who did it. Makes me think of this joke. There was a man who worked for the post office whose job was to process all the mail that had illegible addresses. One day a letter came addressed in a shaky handwriting to God with no address. He thought he should open it to see what it was about. The letter read, "Dear God, I'm an 83-year-old widow living on a very small pension. Yesterday someone stole my purse. It had $100 in it, which was all the money I had until my next pension check. Next Sunday is Christmas and I had invited 2 of my friends over for dinner. Without that money, I have nothing to buy food with. I have no family to turn to, and you are my only hope. Can you please help me? Sincerely, Edna." The postal worker was touched. He showed the letter to all the other workers. Each one dug into his or her wallet and came up with a few pounds. By the time he made the rounds, he had collected $96, which they put into an envelope and sent to the woman. The rest of the day, all the workers felt a warm glow thinking of Edna and the dinner she would be able to share with her friends. Christmas came and went. A few days later, another letter came from the same old lady to God. All the workers gathered around while the letter was opened. It read, "Dear God, how can I ever thank you enough for what you did for me? Because of your gift of love, I was able to fix a glorious dinner for my friends. We had a very nice day, and I told my friends of your wonderful gift. By the way, there was $4 missing. I think it must have been those robbing bastards at the post office." My husband and I moved earlier this year, and I sent out little "We've moved" postcards to our family and friends just to let them know what our new address was, not to try and get anything from them. But the number of people who sent us checks, cash, or even little gifts was astonishing. I was so excited to open mail those days. Meanwhile, I just had a birthday this week and only got 2 cards in the mail. Why, at 35, I thought I was going to get more was beyond me. But I checked that damn mailbox all week looking for cards. Not money, just a nice card to open. I've decided I want to be the person who mails my friends cards and stuff, so I've accumulated a stock of cards and postcards and wrote all their birthdays in my calendar and have started sending birthday cards out. I also send sympathy cards and stuff just because I'm sick of relying on Facebook as my way of connecting with folks. I don't know if I'll get my cards on my birthday, but they have my address and it'll be nice if I do and okay if I don't. I'm happy, it makes them happy. I don't know if it's just me, but I am 39. I am going to be 40 when you see this video within a week or so. Maybe a couple weeks. But guaranteed, I'm going to get some birthday cards from like my parents and relatives, and they're going to be sending me money, which honestly at this age feels kind of weird. I'm like, seriously, some of you are on like retirement and stuff. I have more money than you. Please keep your money. Do nice things for yourself. That would make me happy.
Story 2. Spinning in circles. I try to do that now while holding my little one, and I do about 2 spins before I'm lightheaded and dizzy as a drunk. Turning my head too fast makes me dizzy and nauseated, LOL. This is an excellent comment from 7 years ago by Sean Sanders about why adults get dizzy when kids don't. There are many reasons for this in general, such as lack of reflexes and fine motor skills due to aging, which prevent your body from auto-correcting itself when it gets off balance. But specifically for what you're asking about, spinning while sitting, it has to do with your inner ear. When you tilt your head to the left, your body knows that your head is tilted left because it can sense it. If your eyes are open, you could sense it just by seeing that everything is not tilted. But if you close, you would still feel that you were tilted. Even when you pass out and wake up, never remembering having gone to sleep, as you awaken, you can sense which way you're oriented. Your body accomplishes this through the use of liquid-filled tubes inside your inner ear, which stimulate nerves as the liquid levels itself with gravity. When you're young, you have more blood flow to all various parts of your body, and your inner ear sensors are healthy and plentiful. As you age, however, you start to lose sensitivity in those nerves and sometimes lose nerves completely. This makes it so your inner ear sensor is less precise than it was when you were younger, which means when you really shake it up, like spinning in a chair, it can take a little longer for it to sort itself out and figure out where you are oriented. Additionally, people can develop debris inside those liquid-filled sensors like calcium buildup, really tiny rocks. Those end up sloshing around with the liquid as well, and as they interact with the liquid, send false signals to your brain via those nerves. In other words, people with healthy inner ear sensors will have much better balance than those with less healthy sensors. And as we age, our sensors become damaged or at least less precise. Edited to add my own comment. Adults are also more likely to be on medications, sometimes multiple medications, that make you dizzy or affect your balance. As one of those folks, I highly encourage everyone to do balance exercises. It is possible to improve your balance at any age, and it improves pretty quickly. I was so surprised by this as an adult. Spinning and roller coasters are fun as a child. I tried that as an adult with my kids and felt like I was going to die. The dizziness takes so much longer to go away and you feel terrible the whole time. I came here to say this. I've been getting a season pass to Kings Island for years, from high school into my late 20s. And I rode all the rides, even the spinners, with no problems. I took a few years off during the pandemic and didn't go at all, but decided to get season passes again this year. I'm only 32 now, but damn, crap hits different, and not in a good way. I was getting motion sickness on even the simplest of rides. I didn't even attempt the spinners. Left the park with a massive headache and sadly haven't returned this season. I'll probably take my daughter and her friends to the Halloween haunt, but I don't see myself riding too many rides. What the F? Nobody told me 32 was old.
Just for a twist, you know what I love as an adult that I wasn't as interested in as a kid? Learning interesting facts like that about like the inner ear and calcium buildup and stuff like that. I mean, I liked learning okay as a kid, sure, but as an adult finding out this kind of stuff, I'm fascinated. That's great. Becoming adult is awesome. Ooh, my shoulder hurts because I slept wrong because I'm old.
Story 3. Waking up in another place when you fall asleep. Not to get sappy, but I used to love when my dad would carry me into my bed after falling asleep in the car or on the couch. I would wake up when he was carrying but pretend to be asleep. It was such a nice feeling. He walked out on us right after my baby brother was born. My mom became pretty jaded and emotionally distant and would just drag him into bed whenever he fell asleep because she did not like carrying him to bed. I used to make it a point to carry him into his crib as gently as a 12-year-old me could. Hope the little dude had that feeling too, despite being in a broken home. Reminds me of when I was younger. My older brother would carry me to bed as my dad had a bad back and I was very much my brother's little princess. Unfortunately, he got with a woman who was mentally unwell and he hasn't spoken to us for over 15 years. Sometimes I wish I could go back in time 30 years so I could snuggle my tiny face into his shoulder. I'm so sorry you lost your relationship with your brother. I've seen that happen firsthand, and it's terrible. I'm an only child and always wanted a sibling. My cousins don't speak to each other anymore because the woman my one cousin married is a gigantic thunder sea and has broken him down and abused him so badly that he's lost the will to stand up to her. So he's let her estrange him from his sister and most of the rest of the family, actually. What I wouldn't give to get that bee in a room and have it out with her. But now they don't come to any family functions, so I don't think I'll ever get a chance. Sometimes I fall asleep on the couch and my girlfriend moves me to the bed, but I'm so far out of it I don't realize what's happening. When I wake up next to her in bed the next morning, I feel happy and comfortable. Edit. I walk to bed with my eyes closed. She directs me and gives me words of encouragement. It's not really fun for her. She says, Sleepy Alpha Du Hurtley is an a-hole. Sometimes I fall asleep on the couch and wake up on the couch and I'm still confused as to why I'm on the couch. And why does my neck hurt? And my glasses are bent. Who left the TV on? And why is the cat on my face? Story 4. Having $100 in your bank account. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Noticed a few upset comments and just want to explain a little further. Used $100 because it's a term I thought most users would be aware of. 100 Danish currency would be about $13 US. Didn't intend to belittle anyone. Sorry it came off that way. I remember in school when I was 10, we had to write an essay on how I would spend $1,000 in a day. We all wrote about getting huge houses and fancy limos, buying all the candy in the store, and throwing huge parties. The teacher must have laughed so hard. Edit, for an anecdote I just remembered, I was part of a Facebook group for London rental properties a few years back, as were some other internationals. This poor guy asked how much to live in London. Someone said it can be anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500 pounds, depending on which area. The guy replied, "For how many years?" Right? I would have been stoked as a kid for $100 in my bank account. Now it's the biggest stress inducer ever. I wish I wouldn't have yearned to be an adult when I was younger. I miss my youth and innocence. I don't think the problem is wanting to be older. I think the problem is that young us doesn't realize that the magic feeling you have as a kid goes away. So seeing adults or teenagers having tons of freedom and money from kids' point of view seems like it would be the most amazing thing because they think that we still have that magic. But sadly, we don't. You people watched Big when the 12-year-old gets his paycheck and is so thrilled. They pay us this much or something, and his old coworker, who actually is an adult, replies something like, "Yeah, it sucks." I remember my friend's dad paid me $125 for 3 days of back-breaking construction and landscaping when I was 14, and it felt like such a good deal at the time.
I've lived a lot of years where I have scraped by and often seen $100 or significantly less in my bank account, often very shortly after paying bills on payday. And it sucks. And but as a kid, heck, when I was a kid, just having like $5 or $10, I was excited. Oh, I could buy a pop at the grocery store or something like that, or get myself a little treat or whatever. Ooh, how exciting. And now if I just had $5 in my account, let's go move on to happier stuff.
Story 5. Losing a tooth. Oh, yes. Can you imagine running around showing your family, "Look, I lost a tooth. Doesn't it make me look adorable?" And when you're a kid, a lost tooth makes you money. As an adult, it costs you way more than all the money the tooth fairy ever gave you. That's how the tooth fairy makes enough profit to give some back. Edit, as a response to the claim that insurance is a kind of broken backward system. The legend has it that the tooth fairy exchanged the child's tooth for a coin to show the value of one's teeth so that one will care for them. The child of today will look at the coin with big eyes as he understands that it can be exchanged with Coca-Cola. The tooth fairy is said to have been devastated, but when the cash started flowing in, she too became corrupted and signed a pact with Sugar Demon. There's an illustration of this metamorphosis, but I cannot remember the name of the artist. Story 6. The State Fair, especially now that I have to pay for everything. My parents took us to Disney World for a week as kids. I went for 4 days with my husband a few years ago and wanted to go home with how expensive everything was. I went home and thanked my parents for that trip. Depending on when those two trips happened, there was likely a considerable difference in cost even after adjusting for inflation. Yep, went as a family of 6 for a week in 2000, and at the time it was $900 for everything. My dad wouldn't stop complaining about it, so I remembered the number specifically. Went by myself again in 2021, and it was thousands of dollars for just me. And I didn't get to do nearly as much stuff as we did in 2000 either. That was with me budgeting.
Okay, first off, the State Fair is still amazing. In fact, I think the State Fair is more amazing as an adult, and maybe that's because I live in Minnesota, and the Minnesota State Fair is amazing. Sweet Martha's cookies for the win! But, I also don't understand, how are you spending, like, thousands of dollars at the State Fair? Like, I know the food's expensive. My God, the deep-fried olives are like $12 and totally worth it. But how many things are you buying for how many people that you're spending thousands? What are you doing at the State Fair other than just eating deep-fried food?
Story 7. The thought of being an adult/growing up. Right? So you can do whatever you want to do, right? LOL. Yes, and then the responsibility started. I want to go back to playing, eating, sleeping, and crapping when I want. Story 8. Staying awake till 2 in the morning as a teen/young adult. Yeah, baby, the possibilities are endless. Staying awake till 2 in the morning as a 40-something. This is gonna hurt in the morning. So one of the big parts people seem to forget about staying up till 2 a.m. as a kid is it still effing hurts the next day. Maybe you got through the morning okay, but by evening you were half dead. Hence teenagers staying up till 4 a.m. then sleeping until noon. If staying up late didn't hurt them, they wouldn't need to sleep till noon. My circadian rhythm is set so firmly that I know I'm still going to wake up at 7 a.m. no matter how late I try to stay up, so I hate staying up past 1 a.m. I'm usually in bed by like 9:30 p.m. these days just because I'd rather get comfortable and play a game on my phone until I get sleepy. I'm 38 with a sleep schedule of a 4-year-old, but I don't care. Story 9. Getting mail. I remember every day begging my parents if I got mail. I had pen pals. I got so excited when something came for me. Now I dread going to the mailbox because all that will be there are bills. Sounds like you need to find more pen pals. Story 10. Eating large quantities of candy in a single sitting. Yes, still tastes great, but gives me wicked heartburn. Seriously, I could eat a bag of caramels during one movie at university. Now I eat maybe 3 pieces a day when I have some.
Eating a bunch of candy has never been my issue. Like, I liked candy okay as a kid. I like candy okay now, but it's not something that I'm like wild over, you know? It's like, I could give or take it. Now, the problem that's plagued me my whole life is cheese. Oh, the amount of cheese that I can eat and the things that it does to my digestive tract. Didn't help me much as a kid, and it's so much worse as an adult.
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.